From the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex, this is Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenal. First things first, if you haven't done so yet, get down there in the corner and smash that like and subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. As I said the last time we were out, we now have more than 3 dozen subscribers. And I am grateful to each and every one of you for helping this become a success. I thank you. The folks at Frank Beck Chevrolet, thank you more than you will ever know. So, Tigers, by the way, weather today, nice day today. It's in the 80s. Do a weather report. It's in the low 80s, but the air is much drier, and we have a very nice breeze out of the west. It is a very pleasant day today, as I'm seeing that the entire weekend or week ahead will be. Let's hope this hot, humid weather is pretty much out of here for good. You know, Labor Day weekend is always looked at as the traditional end of summer, albeit not literally, because we still have 3 weeks officially by the calendar. We still have about 3 weeks left to go yet. But yeah, weather's good. Get out there and enjoy it. Wish everyone a safe, happy, healthy Labor Day weekend. Wherever you are, wherever you're going, please drive carefully and enjoy yourselves. So, Tigers, I think big day today at Comerica Park. It's the 40th anniversary celebration for the 1984 championship team, and they are honoring the players with a pregame ceremony, which I think, if it has not gotten underway yet, is about to get underway shortly. I don't know, the first 15 or 20,000 fans into the ballpark were getting either a Bless You Boys t-shirt, pardon me, or a 1984 replica jersey. Most of the players, a lot of them are signing autographs on the concourse. And a lot of them there from the 84 championship team. So, that's skubel is going tonight. Hang on just a second here. I think he's going for his 16th win. If he wins tonight, I think he'll be 16-3 on his way to a Cy Young. Tigers lost last night. They had a late inning rally to wipe out a 4-0 deficit, but the bullpen failed in the 10th inning, gave up a couple of home runs, and that was pretty much the game. The bullpen, which had been so good in recent weeks, let them down last night. So, Casey Mize was okay. Gave up 4 runs. But, maybe a little bit rusty his first time back. Let's see how he does next week. I believe his next start will be in San Diego. So let's see how he does there. Okay, let's get into this here quickly, because I don't want to waste any more time than I have to today. Time Out Overtime is sponsored in part by Frank Beck Chevrolet at M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. If it's time for a new-to-you vehicle, let the sales pros at Beck's help you choose the right vehicle. New or pre-owned, Beck's has the top selection in the tri-state area with over 200 vehicles in stock. Stop by and see for yourself, and when you're ready, ask for Russ McMorty, Chris Hodis, Danny Smith, Adam Schaefer, Blake Bryant, Cameron Mincio, Bob Flynn, or Peyton Lucas. And when it comes time to service that new-to-you vehicle, the service pros at Beck's can fix it. Any make, any model, Ford or domestic, Beck's can fix it. And if you have a bit of a crunch or fender bender, Beck's Body Shop can put it back together looking just as good as new. So for all your automotive needs, look no further than Frank Beck Chevrolet at M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville at 517-849-2886 or on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. Come and experience the Frank Beck difference. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. I will be reminding you in a few minutes, as I have been a lot, seems like the last 6 weeks, pardon me, about a very special event taking place 2 weeks from today, Saturday, September the 14th at Frank Beck Chevrolet, as it will be their 9th annual salute to first responders. Salute to first responders. And this year they will be honoring the Hillsdale County Sheriff's Department. I'll have all the details in just a few minutes. Let me take another swig of water here. All right. This has been the worst summer ever for me, folks, for summer allergies. I've just been a mess all summer. And again, I hopefully can get through the next 15 minutes of snow or so without sneezing too. We're getting a bit of a try. Anyway, Tigers, as we said, lost last night in extra innings. As we sit right now, they are 68 up and 68 down. And we mentioned this morning on the timeout show, these next 2 games are pretty much, you got to win both of them just to have a chance. Okay, you're, what are you, 6 out? You're 6 out of a wild card. That final wild card right now, 6 back in Minnesota. And I think the Red Sox have about like a 2.5 game lead on you. They're in between the Tigers and the Twins, so they're still fighting for a wild card too. Like I said at the start of the series yesterday, it's kind of a playoff series for both these teams. Splitting the next 2 games ain't going to do you much good. You got to win both of them, and hope that the Twins lose one of the next 2 to a Toronto Blue Jay team, which isn't very good. It's been a horrific year for the Toronto Blue Jays and their fans. So if you think you got it bad here with the Tigers, no, you don't. 60. Let's see here. 68 up and 68 down. Yeah, that's 136 games with 26 left. If you win the next 2, let's do a little figuring here. If you win the next 2, now you're 70 and 68 with 24 games left. You probably have to go 24 games left. You probably have to go 17 and 7 in the last 24 games. You probably have to, at least from here on in, you'd have to play 10 games over 500. That would give you 87 and 75. I think then you'd have a chance at the final wild card, and even then, it's a chance. It's a relatively easy schedule. But yeah, they've got the West Coast trip next week in San Diego and Oakland. A couple of weeks after that, they go to Kansas City for 3 and Baltimore for 3. So you're this month, or next month, I should say, month of September. You're playing the Orioles 6 times and the Royals 3 times. But as I say, win the next 2, and you pretty much have to go 24 and 7. Okay. I'm sorry, not 24 and 7. 17 and 7. And this allergy medicine got me a little discombobulated. You pretty much have to go the last 24 games. You'd have to go 17 and 7 just to give yourself a shot, a chance. And even then, I think your chances would be slim. But as I said before, I would be satisfied if they just finished with a winning record, 82 and 80. I would consider that a huge accomplishment. That would be their first winning record in 8 seasons since 2016, I believe. So I'd be satisfied with that, because I think if right now you're probably conceding making the playoffs right now. It looks like a long shot, although they are still technically, mathematically in the mix. But that's about it for the Tigers in baseball. Okay, let's read this, and we'll move on to the Lions. Again, as I mentioned before, Saturday, September the 14th is a very special day at Frank Beck Chevrolet here in Hillsdale. between on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville, as the Mex will be celebrating their 9th annual salute to first responders. And as I said, this year there will be a special tribute to the Hillsdale County Sheriff's Department, and rightfully so. Bring the kids, let them get up close to emergency vehicles, meet police and firefighters, play games, and more. There will be a free lunch. You can sign up for prizes as we celebrate the area's first responders. Plus, there will be a poker run as well. Again, that's Saturday, September the 14th, 2 weeks from today, from 10 to 2 at Frank Beck Chevrolet and M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. I think get more info on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. Stop by, especially that day, and experience the Frank Beck difference. We will be doing our timeout show from there on Saturday morning, as we did last year. We had a lot of fun, and you will too. Bring the kids. It will be a fun-filled day for the whole family. I can promise you that. And as I said, we'll be out there broadcasting that morning. I hope to see you all out there. Please stop by and say hello, say hi. We appreciate seeing all our loyal fans out there and listeners. We can't thank you enough for listening every Saturday morning and tuning into my podcast. Don't think we don't appreciate it, because we do. Our sponsors do, especially. So, thanks again. And again, if you haven't done so, put a big circle around Saturday, September the 14th. Clear your calendar. Make sure you don't have anything planned for that day. Put it on your phone. We'll see you out there. Promise me we'll see you out there on Saturday, September the 14th, from 10 to 2 at Frank Beck Chevrolet on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville, as we honor our area's first responders. See you out there. Okay. The Lions practice squad has been set. Their way writer, Christian Boer at CBS Sports has come out with his ranking the top 10 practice squads in the NFL. Now, remember a couple of things. Practice squads fluctuate a lot on a fairly regular basis during the course of the season. By that, I mean players are plucked off of there either by their own team or some other team, claimed that they're elevated to an actual NFL team, 53-man roster. Players are being deleted. In other words, they come and go a lot during the regular season. You can keep a maximum of 16 players on your practice squad, but that doesn't mean you have to. Anyway, I will do this ranking of the top 10 practice squads according to CBS Sports in reverse order, starting with the number 10 team and work our way down. And then I will go over a few rules and regulations in regard to the practice squad, because I don't think maybe many people are. So anyway, according to CBS Sports, the 10th ranked practice squad would be the Los Angeles Chargers. The 9th ranked practice squad, the Seattle Seahawks. The 8th ranked practice squad, the Cleveland Browns. The 7th ranked NFL practice squad, the Cincinnati Bengals. The 6th ranked NFL practice squad, the Indianapolis Colts. Ranked number 5 on this list of the top practice squads in the NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders. Coming in at number 4, just ahead of them, the Dallas Cowboys. Now we're down to the top 3 practice squads, as per CBS Sports, for the time being, or right now in the NFL. So number 3, they've got the Buffalo Bills. Number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. And the top ranked practice squad in the National Football League, according to CBS Sports, are your Detroit Lions. And here's what they had to say. The Lions secured the top spot mostly due to the receivers on their practice squad. Donovan Peoples-Jones is one of the most explosive receivers in the NFL. Well, I kind of question that, but this is what they're writing. 44.5 inch vertical, 44.5 inch vertical, 11.7 broad jump. Robinson has lost a few steps as we've seen him bounce around the league recently the last few years, but he has the experience nonetheless. And Tim Patrick was this guy, this writer said, Patrick was a shocking, he called it a shocking cut by the Denver Broncos after a fantastic preseason. I'll go along with that. I was looking at his preseason tape earlier in the week. He's coming off. He's coming off an ACL 2 years ago and an Achilles last year. He looks fine to me. Anyway, he seems to have a knack. He's got a big body. He seems to have a knack for getting his body in between the ball and the defender. And I'll tell you why in just a second here, why he won't be on the practice squad for very long. He had a fantastic preseason. And he also mentions Tom Kennedy, who has long been a preseason hero in Detroit due to his suddenness underneath and reliable hands. Tom Kennedy, I think, is a candidate or nominee for the Lions practice squad Ring of Honor. Maybe they'll be honoring him at halftime sometime this year as the initial inductee into the Lions practice squad Ring of Honor. That'd be quite an honor. Edge Mitchell Agude registered 4 pressures in the preseason and feels like a young rusher with an upward-facing arrow. Lastly, they mentioned Jamarco Jones. Jamarco Jones, a former Ohio State offensive tackle with years of amazing preseason work on his resume. He just needs to translate some of that to the regular season if called upon as Detroit's swing tackle. And I don't think the Lions will hesitate to do that. But wanted to mention, too, a couple of rules and regulations regarding the practice squad, because you folks probably aren't too familiar with that. Hang on just a second here. Time to wet the whistle again. I'm being told to drink water, having this issue until it's coming out of my ears. I drink a lot of water, I can tell you that. Before we get into this rules and regulations, I've got a couple of messages coming in. Nothing pertaining to this show. So we will move on, and I'll deal with that when we get off the air. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for a good man and his wife, who at Tim Lindley and his missus at Quality PC at 37 Walton Street in downtown Hillsdale. 2 of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. But without their assistance, I wouldn't be doing this right now. 37 Walton Street, you're the place to go in our area for any tech service needs. That's the man. I mean, his wealth of knowledge is insurmountable, unpassable. I can't think of enough adjectives to describe how bright this man is when it comes to tech services. Anything at all. Computers, new or used. Maybe your computer now needs a little work done on it. Flat screen TVs, mounting, programming, internet service. Maybe you need that hooked up. Printers, new or used, anything at all, folks. This is the guy you want to see. Get in there and see him with any issue you're having in regard to tech service. That's at 517-610-5372. Or again, at 37 Walden Street in the downtown Hillsdale. That would be a couple of 100 feet west of Howell on the north side of the street, right on the alley. Please get in there and see him. And when you do, I know I was missing something here. Get in there, Mickey. You're late. I knew I was missing something here today. I didn't have Mickey with me. Well, when you do get in there and see him, please tell him Mickey and I sent you. You would, please. Thank you. One last thing before we sign off, just go over some of these practice squad rules and regulations because you're probably not too familiar with them. I did want to mention too, the NFL trade deadline. I'll get to that in just a second, but a player on the Lions, I think you should keep an eye on this year, and he is on the 53-man roster. I was surprised he made the final cut. Number 48, that would be Lauren Strickland, a safety out of Little Ball State in Muncie, Indiana. Yeah, that Mid-America school in Little Muncie, Indiana. Lauren Strickland. I've been watching some tape on him or his highlights here. I spent an hour doing that earlier today, and I can see why the Lions retained him and put him on the 53-man roster. If I was if I was going to show a young man a video on the techniques for tackling, I'd want him to see Lauren Strickland tackling. This guy is a tenacious tackler. Just remember the name, please, and remember the number. I'm sure he'll be playing on special teams too. Number 48, Lauren Strickland, free agent signee out of Ball State. Lauren Strickland. He's 24 years old, and again, I don't know how Brad Holmes does it, but he just keeps coming up with these diamonds in the rough, and that's a talent that not a lot of people have, but he does. Teams claiming practice squad members. Now, if you've got a practice squad member and he's right there, he can be claimed off of your practice squad by any one of the other 31 NFL teams, provided he goes immediately to their active roster. Okay, you can't claim him off of a team's practice squad and put him on your practice squad. He's got to be on your 53-man team, and he's got to play. And if they were to do that, I don't think a team would claim him off the practice squad, put him on their roster, not have him play. I think he'd be an integral part of their team. But that's one rule. So if another team claims this guy off of your practice squad, he's got to go on their parent team. He can't go on their practice squad. How many times can you elevate a player off the practice squad to play in a game and put him back on a practice squad? You can do that a minimum number of 3 times. Okay, in other words, after that, if you bring him back again on your team, on the 53-man roster, he's got to stay on that team. He can't go back on the practice squad. Is that the teams can elevate as many as 2 players per week. 2 players per week to play in a regular season game without moving them to the active roster. But they can only, as I said, do that 3 times on a single player. So in other words, that they can bring up 2 players a week off the practice squad, and anytime they take a player off the practice squad and stick him in a game, they want to put him back on the practice squad. You can only do that 3 times a season. Okay, I think we got I hope I explained that enough. I thought I'd throw that in there because we don't hear a lot about practice squads and the ins and outs, rules and regulations. I just want to put that in there. I wanted to mention one more thing too before we sign off. The NFL trade deadline this year is Tuesday, November the 5th at 4 o'clock Eastern time. That would be after week number 9. Dawned on me when I looked that up and researched that. Well, what's there something else going on Tuesday, November the 5th too, isn't there? Yeah. Oh, election day. Okay. Oh. But I think the trade deadline will supersede whatever transpires in the election. A bit of levity there, I guess. That's going to just about do it. Like I said, they're probably right now into the pregame festivities at Comerica regarding the 84 Tigers. That's going to about do it for us. Don't forget the timeout overtime. That's what we're doing here. The timeout show with Andy and Jed, Saturday mornings on WCSR 92.1 FM. And I will be with you again Tuesday. So remember, please, and have a safe, happy, healthy Labor Day weekend. And remember, please, to treat each other with respect. Have a good rest of your evening, and so long, everybody.